So here is the brand new S550 LCD mirror by Wolfbox. And first off, I can tell you that the packaging has gotten quite fancy now. Some of these cameras are packaged very simply, but this one has nice presentation, kind of like a Samsung Apple device. You got the mirror, and you got two boxes containing the accessories. We'll start with the mirror. So what makes this LCD mirror different than the previous LCD mirrors that I reviewed? Well, let me show you. There is no dash cam or camera that protrudes or comes out of the mirror. Most of them have been built in into the left side or to the right hand side, and that might create an issue because this LCD mirror, like old mirrors, is mounted by placing it on top of the existing mirror and then is held with straps, so it conceals or hides the original mirror. Now, because of that, sometimes the camera can get in the way, or the camera may not be able to point to exactly where we want it to. So in this case, they have separated the camera as a separate module, and we can place that anywhere in the car, giving us more flexibility for our installation. You can see here that this is the memory card slot. They include a 32 gigabyte memory card, but the mirror supports all the way up to 128. Turning it on to the bottom, you have a single power button that fires up the mirror. Again, more aluminum, which looks like it's nicely powder coated. And on the back, a large heatsink made out of aluminum. So this is going to help to keep the mirror nice and cool. This kind of really gives it a very elegant feel and look to it, especially how it's completely edgeless. You can see that there is no bezel. This literally goes and extends all the way out to the edge. The other thing to notice is that there are not a ton of cables sticking out of the top of the mirror, which is sometimes happens on other dash cams. You'll have a GPS cable, a power cable, a rear camera cable, and it can look unsightly. I love this, that they have integrated that into a single wire harness that we're gonna be able to tuck away, hiding all the cables, and again, making this a very clean installation. So here is the front camera. Again, it's detached from the mirror, and I gotta say, this thing is nice, very, very fancy, and again, more use of that metal in the construction, anodized metal, and a little piano black finish over here. Now, where is the camera? Here is the camera, and it's a full 1920 by 1080 high definition camera, and it's telescoping, so we can aim it and point it up or down to further adjust where we want this to look at. Now, how is this gonna get mounted? Well, they include this high adhesion 3M tape, and literally gonna peel this off like that, and then I'm gonna stick this in my front windshield, obviously in the location of my choice. And I'm really impressed. I have to say, this is probably the fanciest camera mirror that I have reviewed yet. This finish almost looks like something that you will see in a Mercedes or a Lexus. This is how it will look like to the passengers that are sitting in your car. This is all they would see. Now let's look at the rear camera. Again, they are using metal in this construction right here, anodized type of metal with some nice engravings on here. And Jarvis right here is the processor that is doing the image quality. And man, what a nice finish. This will make an excellent gift, or if you just have a nice car that you want to have a nice camera that is not made out of plastic, man, this has some weight, quite a bit to it. Now, these cameras both support IDR, which is their own version of wide dynamic range or high dynamic range, which allows us to see details that normally are not captured by normal dash cams. How are we gonna mount this camera to the back of our car? Now, the camera is waterproof, so we can mount this on the outside, typically by the license plate, or we can mount it on the inside of the car. And we do that with the included adhesive tape. Again, we peel off the back, stick the tape on here, peel the other back, and then stick this to the location of our car, wherever we want this to be located at. Now, by the way, the core right here, quite a bit of length. We have approximately about 20 feet in length. Now let's look at the power cable. The power cable is quite interesting because this is not a USB type cable or any other type of cable like that. It has a couple of specialized cables, and that is again because we're integrating several cables into one. So this is going to provide power to the camera and also join our cameras to the LCD mirror. So quite interesting, and we're gonna see how well this works in terms of hiding the cables for installation. Okay, and finally they include a little tool to reset the camera in case it were to freeze, and extra straps in addition to the 2 straps that they included. Okay, let's mount this and let's see how it looks. So here's the S50 LCD mirror installed, and I can tell you that this is probably the cleanest installation that I have ever seen in a dash cam, because there are no visible wires that are coming out like I mentioned earlier. There's a single cable and that's coming out from the back, and I hid that underneath this little plastic cover, and then I fed it underneath the trim. So this will probably fool most people into thinking that this came with the car. And remember, this is just being held with 2 silicone straps mounted in front of our original mirror, so totally reversible. Now, as far as the front camera, I have placed it a little bit this way, but I could have placed it anywhere I wanted, which is the advantage of having an independent camera. Alright, let's turn on the S50 LCD mirror. Now, normally this is going to happen automatically when you turn on the car, but I like to do this manually so we can see how fast the boot up sequence takes, and you can see it's pretty quick. You'll notice that we are shown the reverse view by default, and we can actually do a little bit of fine adjustment by sliding our finger up and down, which is great. This is the biggest advantage I think LCD mirrors have over regular mirrors, is that they give you such a wide view. And mind you, the video is recorded in its entirety. This just changes the way that it is displayed on our screen. If I wanted to change the view, I can simply slide my finger, and now we are shown the front view. You could also use the menu, these little arrows right here, rear view, or this view where you're able to see both cameras at the same time, and back again to the front camera. Now let's look at some of the more advanced settings by going here to the home. And again, just a very clean, simple, elegant menu, which I think goes with the theme of this dash cam, just simplicity. If I hit the stream video, that brings me back to our menu. If I hit the second one, playback, that's going to allow us to play back any of the videos that we have previously recorded, or delete them if we did not want them. Format will erase the entire SD card, so that's convenient that they have placed that right in the front. But let's look at the settings menu. In the settings menu, there's only 2 rows of options, and this is probably going to be one of the most friendliest mirrors in the market if you're new to the dash cam, because it really, they simplify this a lot. The first option right here is screen reversal. This mirror can actually be installed upside down, and you might want to do that if you wanted to match the style of your car. Let's say your mirror is narrower on the bottom and longer on the top. You could flip this upside down, hit screen reversal, and the menu will flip itself so it's not upside down. Let's look at the second option, loop recording. Right here we can set the length of the videos that are being recorded. All dashcams record in loop mode, which means they're recording in segments. And here we're saying record in 3-minute segments, which I think is great. If you set it at 1 minute, you end up with a lot of files that you have to look at that are 1 minute in length. I like to have 3 minutes because then I only look at a few files that are 3 minutes in length. And time lapse, this is an option that's not available in a lot of dash cams, and this is the option that you want if you're looking to monitor your car 24 hours a day. Now, what does that do? Well, if you hardwire this dash cam and you enable the time lapse, the camera is going to take a picture approximately every minute or so, and that's going to create a time lapse, a compressed view of the entire day and what happened around the car. Obviously, I'm going to have that off since this is not hardwired. And the G sensor option. This dashcam will automatically sense when you get into a car crash and will save and lock the video so it does not get deleted. And it does that using the G sensor, which measures when a car gets jolted. Now, the setting that I like to use for this is low, and that is to prevent false videos being recorded. If I set it too high, it's going to be too sensitive. So low is just right for just detecting an actual car crash. Screensaver, this can be set according to your preferences. This is how long it takes before the LCD mirror turns itself off. It's still recording, it's just the LCD portion of it. I like to have it always on because, what's the point of putting an LCD mirror if I'm not going to use it? And then streaming media switch. This can change the default view that is shown when you turn on the car. I like to always have it showing me the rear view, but you can change that if you so desire. You can also adjust the volume. You can change the language of the menu. You can adjust the date and time that's in the camera, and you can just restore the entire thing to its default settings. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to the front. And one other thing that I know a lot of you guys get this type of mirrors for, or are interested in looking at this type of mirrors, is the reverse function. If you're looking to have reverse lines, this mirror does have them. All you need to do is connect an extra wire that they provide in the back to your tail lights of your car. And when you connect that red wire to your tail lights of the car, the mirror knows that you're putting the car in reverse and will automatically display little guidelines for you to be able to reverse. And you can adjust them so they can fit up your car size appropriately. Also, just by looking at the mirror, we're able to tell that it's recording by this little red dot and how much time it has recorded and the date and time, which is very convenient. All the menu hides away when you are not using it or needing it. In the settings at the bottom, we can stop the video or we can restart the video. The other thing that we can do here is we can turn off the sound. If we wanted to have a private conversation, I can turn off the microphone. I'm going to turn the microphone back on. You could also adjust the brightness of the LCD mirror. And I have to have it at max. I think at max is not crazy bright where I have trouble at night. But if you wanted to bring that down, you are able to decrease the brightness. Okay. And you could also lock a video file manually. So remember, we got a G sensor that's automatically going to lock a video file when you get into a car crash. But let's say I see something interesting. Like right here, my neighbor just got his mail and I want to save that video of him getting his mail. I hit lock and now the camera has automatically and secured that video so I don't delete that by accident. Alright, now that we looked at all the main features that the camera offers, let's take a look at some actual test drive footage both at day and at night. And that completes the review of the Wolfbox S50 LCD mirror. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put that in the comments below. Also, if you guys are interested in looking further at the Dashcam, I have placed a link in the description for your convenience. And I have a lot more product reviews like this coming up, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss my next upload. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.